Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. I'm your host Hassan. I have Adil with me. We'll be discussing the Italy versus Turkey game from the European Championship, and we'll be also doing throughout the week as the games go on. We'll be covering all the important games from there. For those of you watching, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Adil, what a great opening to the European Championship with that game, and Italy. I mean, they were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah, great performance from Italy. Um, and they definitely didn't get stage fright in front of their fans. They showed up, and yeah, it's what we expect from Mancini's Italy. They're young, they're exuberant, they're confident, and yeah, really polished performance.
I mean, you can see why they're so good. I mean, 27. I think it's 27 games they're unbeaten. I mean, that in itself tells you how good this team is, and seem like they kind of gone under the radar because everyone's talking about like the likes of France, etc. No one's really giving Italy as much as
Yeah, I think
ever
for
really.
for those who don't follow international football, then Italy might have gone under the radar, but
Mhm.
anyone who follows international football would have had them as one of the favorites because they've beaten a lot of teams. They've drawn against the big teams. They've not. I mean, they've not. They've, like I said, they haven't lost for more than 2 years. So, um, and they've done it all with a completely different philosophy to what Italy has always traditionally done, which is playing calciomercato, which is kind of counter-attacking football. So yeah, I just think Mancini got a bit of stick at the beginning when he first took over because of the new style and mainly for playing players who weren't even like some of the players he was picking hadn't even been part of the first team squad. Like when he brought Zaniolo in,
Mhm.
he wasn't even playing for Roma. He wasn't even making the matchday squad for Roma. Never made a debut. So Mancini done something different from what any other manager has done, which is he's actually picked youth talent that hadn't even broken through into the first team. He got criticized for even picking Barella at the time, who was at Cagliari at the time. You look at today after
He
Barello's,
looks a real deal, doesn't he?
yeah, I mean,
Off the box.
for me, he was man of the match for me. Um, you know, but the whole Italy team was impressive.
I mean,
And
that front line looks really good, doesn't it? With Berardi, Insigne, and Immobile,
yeah,
their movement and
I was actually really surprised that Berardi started because most of qualifying and like the core of the team when Mancini took over was actually Bernardeschi,
Mhm.
Barella, and Zaniolo. And now it's kind of, I think, because Bernardeschi hasn't been playing enough for Juventus, Berardi's taken over. But even in the warm-up games, Bernardeschi looked really good, played well. So normally it's Bernardeschi's the main guy. But I thought Berardi made the difference for the first goal.
he's
Looked
very
okay at
direct.
that.
He's very direct, as in I've seen him. He just literally tries to either get into that left foot and just have a pop, or he's just looking for the
Well,
cross.
he's a number 9 playing on the wing.
Okay.
He's primarily a number 9 that can play on the right and cut in. But even when he got picked for the squad, there was a lot of criticism because he didn't make it and then went to Sassuolo and performed really well there for the last few seasons. He's been like the highest Italian goal scorer, previous season, last this season obviously is Immobile, and yeah, and it's just a really energetic team. They all know what they want. Even Spinazzola,
Guardiola, yeah.
he's coming. He's just broken in recently, and Mancini's got faith with him and he's playing him, and you can see the energy he's got. Um, so I think yeah, they could have panicked after the first half. It was 0-0. I mean, they didn't create clear cut chances, and obviously Turkey were very defensive, but they could have panicked. They looked like they were getting a bit hot-headed by not getting the penalty decision just before halftime. So I was thinking, oh no, are they gonna, are they relying on a decision from the ref rather than playing it. And this is the thing.
I mean, the breakthrough was a bit fortunate, wasn't it? I mean, it's good play, but I mean, with the own goal.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think that is fortunate, because at the end of the day, if Demirel doesn't do the own goal,
Yeah.
Immobile is scoring an open goal. He had no choice to get it. I mean, it's whether he wanted to score an own goal or let Immobile score. I mean, there's nothing else he could do. So just because it's an own goal doesn't mean they were fortunate. I mean, they had a player there. But the biggest thing was the fact that Mancini, because they could have carried on just complaining, and that's the Italian way, and they could have just complained about the penalty decisions. I didn't think any of them really were, but the referee was letting a lot go. It felt like the referee was like letting.
Well, he seemed like he's frustrated with the Italians. Well, he looked like
I started laughing when I saw his name, Makelele. I was like, oh my god, the referee's Makelele made for some crunchy tackle. And they were looking at the match and they're thinking, okay, he definitely thinks like Makelele. Let every tackle go to get it. So yeah, he definitely lived up to his namesake in terms of the way he refereed. But I thought the biggest thing positive was the change that Mancini made at halftime by taking off Florenzi, which was surprising because towards the end he was getting a few crosses, but his crosses weren't good.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't pressing as high and wasn't attacking as quick. He was quite defensive minded, and taking him off and getting Di Lorenzi, so in another player who is coming late, very similar to Spinazzola, just high energy player. I thought that made a huge difference, because suddenly, because Barella always kind of is, they play the 4-3-3 Italy play is similar to the way Pep's Barcelona used to play it, where it's not flat. There's one slightly advanced, one in midfield, one slightly deeper. And Barella's the one who's slightly advanced on the right-hand side. And what happened was, by having Di Lorenzo there, suddenly Barella had a lot of options. And obviously, Calhanoglu, not renowned for tracking back anyway, couldn't keep up. And suddenly, there was always like a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 on that side suddenly.
It's an overload, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought those positive changes, and Mancini's got a real good knack of making subs at the right time. I mean, I don't know what his record is, but he's renowned for his subs influencing games and coming on and scoring or making huge impact. So, that for me shows he tactically understands, the game really well and what his team needs to do. As soon as a player ain't performing to the way he wants, he's not afraid to make early subs.
But I mean, adding to what you were saying about Mancini, I mean, he got a lot of stick for like picking players from the lower teams, etc. as well. And he's brought a lot of these players in, and like they're all performing. I mean, Locatelli.
What he did, he got rid of all the old school players or the veterans. He even didn't play Chiellini and them. They've come back into the team, but he didn't start off with them. It was all Romagnoli and all the younger guard, and it was definitely a revolution that he tried doing. And the thing is, in Italy, the older generation support were in favor of it, but the younger generation were. And what he's done is he's captured the younger fan base of Italy, especially with his own image, the way he is, and it's very Mancini. He's embracing that look in the park. You saw, the team kit that Italy are wearing, the nice, designer blazers. It's very Italy. They're embracing, and you can see there's a lot of.
But you can also see the old guard or the old Italy in the last tackle Chiellini made. I mean, he celebrated. I love that passion. You can tell how much it means to him, and I love that kind of. He's got that. I think the correct balance and the mix between the old guard and the new players.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing he did was make Jorginho the main player. At that time, Jorginho was like coming on as a bench, and even though he just broken through, he wasn't the main. The first thing Mancini has made him the main guy in the team in terms of
Everything
like one of the and he's created this leadership group. But obviously, he's built everything mainly around players like Barella and Zaniolo and Bernardeschi. So I just think, Mancini needs a lot of credit. He's brought in the veterans at the right time, and really, they are better than anyone else they've got in defense.
Let's kind of also talk about Turkey. I mean, how damning is that result for them? I mean, surely, everyone would have expected better of them.
Yeah, I mean, Turkey, I was expecting him to play this counter-attacking style. That's how the manager plays, and they've been successful under this manager. He's done well in the last 2 or 3 tournaments with Turkey. He's always got them to the quarters, I think, at least.
Well, he's also done quite a big rebuild with Turkey as well, so...
Yeah, but Turkey's got a bit of a renaissance going on in the sense that they've got a lot of good players. The Turkish league is quite strong at the moment. Most teams have good attacking forward talent. They've got some of their better players all in Europe now, playing in Europe. Before, they used to hold on to their players, and it used to be quite difficult. You'd get the odd Emre, not a number. Now all the big players are at big clubs in Europe. Calhanoglu at AC Milan, you got Soyuncu at Leicester. They're all getting experience outside. The league is strong, so he's got a really strong squad to pick from. To say the truth, they've got quite a lot of good players that didn't make the team today. But I think that's what affected the manager, because he tried fitting in because Yilmaz has had such a good season with Lille. But during the qualification campaign, he wasn't the regular main striker. It's Karaman. Now he tried fitting both of them in.
Yeah.
By moving Karaman to the right, and he just looked terrible on the right.
It didn't help.
By far the worst player on the pitch. I mean, his first touch was ridiculous. He lost the ball every time he got it, and he stayed on for quite long. Then they put him into the 10. So definitely, I think the manager kind of messed up, because what's the point of playing 4-1-4-1? You're playing into Italy's hand. If you do your research, Italy always high press.
Yeah.
So what is your Kluzlu going to do? That means you've accepted you're going to play long ball by having only one midfielder in your own half. So you're not looking to do any build-up play. So you're going to go long, and then you're going to go long against Chiellini and Bonucci.
Yeah.
There's no, so yeah, their tactics wasn't coherent. I just felt the manager messed up today, played a different formation, didn't work, and they got punished.
In terms of them and obviously their chance in the group, what do you think? Do they have a chance to go through to the next round?
Yeah, I mean, you can't rule them out. The manager is still good. They've had success before. They beat France in the qualifying campaign.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a lucky, even though one where they drew with France, they were the better team. I think France got a late equalizer. So they are quite good. It's just they didn't show that intent today, and they kind of got confused in what they wanted to do. So I wouldn't rule them out. I think they need to play with that passion, like they did towards the end, when they were fouling and that Turkish passion came out. They have to play on that edge, and then they'll probably play quicker. But they looked unfit as well, which was worrying.
I mean, that second place is really open, isn't it? Because you got Switzerland, Wales, and Turkey themselves.
Well, Switzerland traditionally always go through, and you never know how. Like they always go through to Nokase, and
always something they do.
They always comes down to their last game, and they win it 1-0 or something like that. So yeah. I always think there's some conspiracy when it comes to Switzerland. Yay for base and everything. I just
Is it
think, what
because
the
of the
heck?
base?
How do they always go through with a penalty or something in the
No, but
last?
I think it's a very interesting group, isn't it? In terms of the other three teams,
Yeah, because
they're fairly even.
yeah, because they all got their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
All of them. They all kind of prefer to play on the counter attack as well. All three teams prefer to play on the counter attack. Whereas
Well, I mean,
certainly when Stoke got pressure,
Switzerland trying to play more on the front foot with their new coach and stuff. So they are trying to change it. So
yeah, and they've got a few decent players coming through, young players coming through. So it's going to be but I wouldn't rule out Turkey. I still think that backline is a strong backline. The keeper's good. They've got goals in them, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think I wouldn't rule it out.
Leaves it interesting for the rest of the group. What would you make of in terms of the whole tournament? What do you think is going to be the standout player? Which youngster will break through? What do you reckon, Adu?
Youngster-wise, I'm excited to see Nuno Mendes
Yeah.
of Portugal. I mean, because he's so smart for his age. I mean, he plays like an experienced pro.
Yeah.
In terms of the balance between attacking and defending. He's really good at playing the through balls from deep. So I think I'm excited to see if I'm more excited to see some of the young stars. I think, Mbappe is always an X factor player. You're always going to.
He falls under that category, Adil.
But yeah, it's more the new young stars. I'm more, I'm excited to see Gravenberch of and I'm hoping he makes the starting lineup. He's not a full-on starter at the moment, but I'm excited to see him. Who else? Some of the there's a lot of young players in this tournament. A lot of teams have gone younger for this tournament, which is good to see.
Yeah.
And I was genuinely surprised to see that Turkey has the youngest team in the tournament squad. Yeah. Okay. That's with Yilmaz as their captain, who's 35 and 36. So I was really surprised. But yeah, England has the second youngest.
I think England. I was gonna say. I thought it was England and not Turkey. But okay.
No, it's BBC showed as Turkey has the youngest.
Okay.
Average age in the tournament.
Wow.
Not average, young. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to. I mean, everyone might say a bit kind of biased and stuff. I'm really looking forward to like the likes of Foden, Jack Grealish. I know they're English players and stuff, but yeah, those are the players I'm really looking forward to see how they.
Well, I think Foden has announced himself during the season, and I don't have no doubt he's going to perform for England. But I
just want to see them in the international stage. Obviously,
I'm more excited to see Foden and Grealish in the same lineup.
That's true.
Is what I would love to see. I don't know if that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's dreaming.
But I would love to see that because that's like when it comes to flair, dribbling.
I mean, if Man City buy Grealish next year, your dream might come true as well in terms of watching them in.
Well, that ain't definitely only for England. Yeah, only for England. But who else? I mean, there are quite a few, players.
Right, who's gonna be player of the tournament? Let's put it.
I mean, it's always going to be a player from one of the teams, from the team that wins it. So I would say I predicted France to win it. I think Portugal is my second favorite. So, there are, it's going to be someone like Mbappe or Griezmann. I think it's always going to be. Normally it's a swing. The only other one could be Kante, because he's just a special player.
He's just amazing.
If it goes to Portugal, I don't know. I mean, it's in a way written for Cristiano Ronaldo in the sense that he's only, I think, 5 or 6 goals behind Ali Daei, who holds the record for most goals in international football. Yeah. So he's second on the list. So it'd be kind of, poetic if he was able to.
But you know what? It's a really tough group they've been given as well. So, but I mean, he always shines at the big stages. So I think
that suits them though. I think that suits this Portugal team because they actually struggle to open up teams that defend deep and everything.
Right.
So playing against the better team might help them because they play very much on the counter attack. They got lethal. I mean, their attack. I mean, who is he going to play? Is it going to be Jota? Is it going to be Bruno Fernandes? We know, obviously.
Felix. I mean, the list.
We know Cristiano is going to play as the 9.
Yeah.
You know, and then at some point they'll bring Andre Silva and play Ronaldo behind Andre Silva. But when you look at that, you know, you got Pedro Gonçalves, who's had an amazing season for the Sporting, who won the title.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, I mean, they've got ridiculous attacking
Do you think
midfielders.
Portugal's biggest problem will be their defense? Do you think that's where they're lacking?
Well, everyone says that because they got the I think they play what was it, Rui Fonte and Pepe still.
Yeah.
And Pepe is still their best defender, but you know, yeah, I mean that's the scary thing is you think how the heck are they gonna stop someone like Mbappe? You know, you can't imagine them.
I mean, knowing Pepe, he's just gonna chop him down, isn't he?
Yeah, but then you got Benzema and Griezmann in front of you. Someone has to close the space in front, as well as running as the pacing behind. So I think, yeah, France have got a really good mix. Only thing I'm worried about is the fact that Pogba is playing in the midfield and Kante for his club has been playing more like the box-to-box midfielder. Before, when they won it a few years ago, he was the defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing that concerns me about France is the balance in the midfield. You know, just the worry that is Kante as defensive minded as he used to be. Not that he can't be, but it just seems like he's gotten used to that role of, you know, box to box. You can't trust Pogba to defend properly.
Yeah.
So in midfield, so that's the bit that worries me.
But I think obviously if France were to do good, a lot is going to rely on obviously the like of Kante. But they got a solid defense as well. Don't get me wrong.
But the thing is, at the moment, Deschamps has always played Kimpembe as his number 1, and that's where I think is the problem. Kimpembe has had a poor season, and defensively he does not look good. It looks like he's just confident. So if Lenglet plays ahead of him, or you know, I don't know, someone else, they may you know root to regret the allowing Laporte to switch allegiances to Spain.
Yeah.
Which also is another team that I think will play well, will do well. Spain. Enrique has done very similar thing to what Mancini has done.
I mean, lots to talk about. I'm sure we will talk more about these teams in the coming games. Adu, thank you for coming on today and showing your views on the Italy versus Spain game. Guys, thank you for watching. And yeah, do keep an eye out. We have lots of videos coming out throughout the European Championship. And yes, always, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Adu.